Welcome everyone to the Mail Fuzz TV podcast. I am Peter, and joining me as always is Connor.
Yep, still here.
We're going to talk about what happened in TV news over the last 2 weeks, give or take. And there's so much to talk about.
Is there actually?
I cannot tell you. I mean, it's only the list of renewals, but the amount of the times I have the 3-letter CBS written down here is concerning me.
Do you know what? It's a good job that today's my drinking day, isn't it?
Yes. We go through renewals, cancellations, look at shows that have been announced, usually with synopsis. They don't always get one. Sometimes it's like, hey, we're doing this thing. We won't tell you about it though till later. So that's the gist of what we do here. We make fun of how they write their synopses, or these days how AI has written their synopses, if applicable. And that's pretty much what we're going to do. Although we have to start off with a really sad story. We have a death to talk about this week, which was very shocking, came out of nowhere. Michelle Trachtenberg, who was, in fact, on the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, passed away at 39 this week, which... Yeah, like she died before any of the other actors who played Scoobies on that show, or even Giles for the matter, who is much older than the rest of them. It's, just to emphasize how goddamn young she is. It's just kind of shocking.
I was gonna say, I don't think she's like that much younger than the others. That
probably not.
You know,
5-10 years tops.
Like, don't get me wrong, it's obviously very young right now, but I think if they'd all made it to later in life and she died first, I don't think it would have been like.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, if
crazy.
they were all 85 and she was 80 and she went first, it wouldn't be that weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just out of nowhere, shocking. Apparently, she had had an operation recently, so it might be a complication from that. There was one follow-up detail that apparently her family refused an autopsy for religious reasons, so we'll never know exactly.
It was a liver transplant that she'd had, and I think the general assumption seems to be there was just rejection issues, which can happen.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, it's obviously, it might not be as shocking to her close ones because they knew she was going through that, so they probably immediately thought, oh, it's that that's done it. Whereas the rest of the world are all like, she's 39. Why? Like, you expect foul play almost at that age, just because it just it's unfathomable that it happens naturally. But it's a shame. This is one. It's weird because obviously she's so young, and it's sad for that reason. But it's also kind of weird because of how close in age she is to like us. Like, she's only a few years older, really. So
hey, let's not forget I'm significantly younger than you.
Not significantly.
Hey. It is the difference you were just saying between her and the other Scoobies. So, Are
you still in your 20s?
No.
Well, then shut up.
Look, did you just make a point that she was like 5 years younger than the others, and that's so shocking that she died before any of them? Because she's so much younger than them.
I mean... Yeah, but this is all from the perception of I watched them on Buffy, where she was like the late addition to the cast. There's a perception thing here.
I'm the late addition here.
You've been here longer than most other people.
That's irrelevant.
Oh, bloody hell. But yeah, this is the weird thing. This is someone who I saw first. I mean, obviously she was in Harriet the Spy before Buffy, but like, I saw her for the first time in Buffy. And she was a teenager playing a teenager. And it's kind of weird that, like all...
How old was she when she was in Buffy? Like, not the character, but her. I've never...
I want to say she was like 16 or something like that when she was filming on that show.
That makes sounds about right. Like, plausible.
Yeah. Sadly, I know for sure she was under 18, just partly because of some of the things that were said about Whedon when all that stuff was coming out.
Makes sense.
That she wasn't allowed to be left alone with them because she was underage, and it was one of the warning signs that were like, hey, in hindsight, maybe people should have been noticing that as a concern. But that's sadly why I remember, like, that she was under 18 when she was shooting on it, at least to begin with. Or maybe she probably hit 18 by the time they were done.
She was there for like 3 years, right? So
Yeah, 3 years. So yeah, but I think that because it's someone who, well, I was obviously younger, and at that age, it was a huge gap. It felt like, because I was like 11, something like that. It's kind of weird because it's like, hey, she was kind of a kid actor still when I was a kid, so this feels especially young to me because she is only a few years older.
that makes sense.
So yeah, that just hit really weird, and I mean, it hit me hard when Bill Paxton died, but yeah, he was an adult when I was born, so there is at least a big difference of he's an older generation, so it's not as quite the same as this. This one kind of shocked me a little bit because it's different to a lot of the other ones. But
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Hey, and then just to add to the weird, it's not a TV actor, but Gene Hackman died the next day, pretty much, along with his wife and dog, and that's been investigated as to why that. Because he was in his 90s, so hearing he passed away wasn't exactly something that would be shocking on its own. But the fact that his 60-something-year-old wife and his dog were also dead with him raises a lot more questions.
Yeah, I think people have like ruling out any foul play, because they seem to do that pretty quickly when they put out the statement. So the most logical thing after that is some sort of like gas leak or carbon monoxide.
They've ruled that out now.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, they've ruled that out. They're still. The last update I saw is that they're treating it as it might be suspicious. That was the word they used. So what that means exactly, but I mean, I guess we'll maybe find out at a later date. But it was a weird one.
Suicide pact.
I mean, that's really dark, but like it was just a weird 1-2 punch of one day it was Michelle Trachtenberg, and then the next day Gene Hackman and his family all go.
Yeah, I think it's precisely that one didn't hit as hard. Not in for any, obviously it's sad, especially if it is suspicious circumstances too short. But like, he was 95, something like that.
He was ancient. Yeah,
like it's when you saw that headline or tweet, most likely, or something to that effect, it wasn't like a huge surprise.
No, it was the extra details that made it weird.
Yeah.
But hey, so yeah, just to get that out of the way, because it felt important to bring it up, especially since I mainly know her from TV more than anything else. She was in Gossip Girl as well. I never saw that, but apparently that was like something she did a bit later.
I'm really surprised that you never watched Gossip Girl. You play your sort of show.
I did it.
Yeah.
I believe that was a Blake Lively thing.
That sounds about right.
I think that's what made her famous, although I didn't hear about her until she was, dodging a shark and other such things.
That's what you know her for.
The Shallows. And she was in the Green Lantern movie. That's probably what I first knew her from, was the Green Lantern movie, sadly.
Was she with Ryan Reynolds before that movie?
I don't think so. I think they met on that movie. That's like the one thing that came out of that movie was their marriage.
Okay, sure, why not?
I could be wrong. I'm no expert, but that's my assumption. All right,
let's not a Blake Lively expert. That's good to know.
No, I'm not. No, certainly not. Let's look at renewals then. We have a decent big list, and more than half of them are CBS, so buckle in. First up, Where's Wanda has been renewed for season 2 by Apple. Don't ask, because I don't know.
I vaguely I've seen or heard of something about this one. The name's familiar enough. Probably because we must have told about it, because I feel like we made Where's Wally jokes.
Okay. Yes, or Where's Waldo jokes for the Americans.
Yeah.
Dark Winds has been renewed for season 4 by AMC. We must have made fart jokes at that.
We must have done.
Yeah,
I don't remember that one, but we must have done.
Well, this is the one that your Zan McLaren dude's in.
Yes. Okay.
That's the one thing I know about it, is he's in it. Jury Duty has been renewed for season 2 by Amazon, and they've already filmed it. This was kind of like it wasn't even just renewed. It was like, hey, we made a second season of this. It's going to happen soon. So. If you don't know what that is, I do vaguely know a little bit about this. I never got around to watching it, but the whole gimmick of it is that it was like a jury court case type thing, but every single person was an actor except one person who thought it was real, and that was and James Marsden was in it.
But he's so bland that no one would notice.
Hey, actors have to do jury duty sometimes. I mean, I don't know if he was playing himself, but I assume he might have been since.
Like, even if he wasn't, it doesn't matter because no one's going to recognize him.
Yeah, so there's a second season. How they trick someone else the second time, I don't know, but curious.
I think it's pretty easy to find someone who's never watched this random show on Amazon.
Probably. Well, the first season was on Freevee, but the Freevee's dead now.
Oh, even easier then.
But so the second season's going to be on Amazon. Paradise has been renewed for season 2 by Hulu. Yeah, me neither. Yeah. Happy Place has been renewed for season 2 by NBC. Yep. Okay. Okay, then we're on the CBS, like just
the onslaught.
Yes. Ghost. This is the one with Rose McIver, the sitcom.
Oh yeah, okay. I know this one.
This has been renewed for seasons 5 and 6 at CBS. So that is doing well. Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage has been renewed for season 2 at CBS. They also renewed Elsbeth for season 3. Those last 2 were comedies, I believe. And then they renewed Fire Country for season 4.
Such a CBS show.
I know. They renewed Tracker for season 3. And they renewed NCIS for season. Go on, guess.
Oh, hang on. 23.
Oh, you're right. All right, 23. Very good.
Yeah.
All right.
I have deep NCIS knowledge.
Yeah. Well, they also renewed NCIS Sydney for season 3 and NCIS Origins for season 2.
Origins? I forgot about that one.
Do you know what's funny about this is that when I look, because the article annoyingly didn't tell me what seasons they were. They just said, oh, it's been renewed for the 2025 to 2026 season.
Did you have to go looking?
So I had to go looking. And when I went to NCIS's page, there was like 5 spin-offs that have been and finished already. And this is the 2 that we're on now. But the original show is still going.
You gotta remember, technically NCIS itself is a spin-off as well.
Yes, of something called Jag, which I never heard of except for that trivia.
Yeah, like this universe is long running. I've seen my fair share of NCIS, unfortunately.
I have not, and I'm happy with that.
I've seen like the first few seasons, and then because Paige has watched most of it, I've seen like the odd episode later on. It's probably the only reason I could figure out I was in the 20s. I'm like, where's the last time I remember her watching?
Surely they've recycled plot lines by now.
Oh, they must have done, and like half the characters are like completely changed.
Oh, of course, because like I mean, not a lot of actors eventually just want to leave because they don't want to stick around for 23 years.
Some of them are like, hey, steady paycheck.
Sure, and then some of them are like, hey, I'm hitting 65. I want to go and just sit in a beach.
I think last time I saw part of an episode that she was watching, I recognized like 2 characters, and one of them at one point was like the new guy on the team, and he's now like leading the team, and the other one was the assistant to the mortician who then took over after he died.
Or did the actor die, or just
I think so. I think the actor died as well.
All right. Well, it's bound to happen eventually when you're going 23 seasons.
Like, to be fair, he was not exactly a young guy, even at the start of the show.
All right, cancellations. Quick list for this. The Sticky has been cancelled by Amazon after one season. I don't know what the Sticky is. Don't ask me stupid questions. And then...
Why do you not know what the Sticky is? How could you not predict I was going to ask about the Sticky?
Max has cancelled Bookie after 2 seasons.
I'm not going to ask. I give up.
Yeah, I don't know. Is
that Bookie with a Y or Bookie IE?
IE.
Okay.
Premiere dates. Last of Us Season 2 finally has its premiere date. We knew it was coming spring, but they've officially dated it as April 13th, which is the week after the current White Lotus season ends. So it's just going to kind of take up that slot after that's done.
That makes sense.
So
there's only ever like a couple of weeks off in between at most anyway.
Yeah. And I'm actually pleased because that's a couple of weeks after Severance finishes its season, so it means I've got another show to kind of jump onto weekly after that. So that's quite nice for my timing, to be honest. And then the other show we'll get a premiere date for here is Mobland, which is the Guy Ritchie show, which was at Showtime, but is now Paramount Plus. and it's going to premiere on March 30th.
Cautiously interested.
I mean, it's got Pierce Brosnan, Tom Hardy, Helen Mirren, and Paddy Considine in it. So
yeah, I have fun with Guy Ritchie stuff, but sometimes it just like absolutely misses for me. Like I'd say like 70% hits. Not all of it is good, but 70% hits that I still enjoy it. And then there's the few things that are just like, nope, just doesn't land for me at all.
Yeah, the description here that I took down is very, very lean.
Ritchie.
Shall we? No, I mean it's Guy Ritchie, but it's also very lean. It just says Pierce Brosnan's character, who is the head of an organized crime family, fighting for power within a global crime syndicate. That's it.
Okay, that is, yeah.
Not a lot to go on. So, get into other things here. We get a few Marvel things to start with.
Great.
So, Daredevil Born Again is getting a season 2. The reviews for the first season have been pretty positive. People seem to be into it. At least the reviewers are anyway. But they announced that Matthew Lillard's joining in season 2, and they're being secretive about who he's going to play.
Okay. I could tell you like nothing about what's happening on this show other than the rumors of one specific thing that keep getting intensified by all the comments the cast and crew are making.
Mm-hmm.
So have you seen this?
I haven't. I remember all the rumors about what it was before they threw out their scripts and reshot most of it, because they'd shot like half the season and then people found out that they killed off a lot of favorite characters and they've completely went back in that now. But
or have they?
Because
a lot of the comments, there are multiple comments of different people being like, yeah, well, they made the choice for us. We got told this was the editorial decision. And like there was another one going, yeah, we made a decision. I'm still not sure it was the best decision. I'm still not sure it was even a good decision, but we made the decision. I'm like, this is, yeah, okay.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I will not be watching. That's fine.
Not me either.
But also kind of related to that is the Punisher's back in the season, and they're going to do a Punisher special, kind of like they did that Werewolf one or that Guardians Christmas special. So it's going to be like a 1 hour thing with John Bernthal back in the role, and he's co-writing it apparently. So that's a thing.
Does he write a lot of things? I genuinely don't know.
First I'm hearing of it. Doesn't mean he doesn't, okay. But I don't know about it. And then just to tag on to that, Marvel have paused development on 3 projects, those being Nova, Strange Academy, and Terra Incorporated. Technically, these were never officially greenlit, but they are kind of, they'll just decide not to move forward with them for now. I mean, it doesn't mean they'll never happen, but given how kind of like past the prime Marvel is right now as like an entity in the MCU, it makes sense they're being a bit more stingy with some of these weirder properties that they were going to make.
Yeah, I saw no one that I know talking about that movie that just came out.
Oh yeah, the new Captain America?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like literally no one.
I mean, I saw a little bit of just like, it's a middle of the road movie.
It is out already, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but even like people I know in real life who typically watch these Marvel movies and like go to the cinema and stuff, none of them are talking about it. Like no one has mentioned it at all.
Just reached that point. And the only thing I know about it is that basically, despite being the 4th Captain America that's supposed to focus on the new Captain America, it feels more like a sequel to Incredible Hulk, which is...
That makes me somehow more interested.
I mean, Red Hulk's in it, right? That's the thing.
Oh yeah, obviously, yeah.
But I think there's also other stuff tying back to that Incredible Hulk movie, and it's like, okay, weird. I don't even necessarily think that's a bad idea, but clearly it's just not that great a movie. So.
I think what's funny is, controversially, I think it's one of the better Marvel movies. I think it's one of the only ones with a genuine identity of what it is.
Oh, Incredible Hulk?
Bit, yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's got a little bit of its own style. It feels different to a lot of the other ones. And obviously it's the only one they can never really reference or do anything with because of all the rights issues. It's quite funny.
Well, that's the thing. They can do basically everything except have a movie called Hulk.
Yeah, but then, despite the fact that they can't do that, they just never do anything with it.
No, but they have now. That's the point.
Well, yeah, but like, it's not going to be it's not a Hulk sequel. It's not anything. It's not going to be in that style. There's nothing there that's actually to do with that movie. It's just some references.
Well, it's not just reference. I mean, I don't want to spoil it.
I don't know.
There's a direct tie to it that I don't want to spoil, just in case anyone gives a shit.
Yeah. Does anyone?
I don't know. There's like a half a dozen people who still care about the MCU, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're all here watching this.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. Next up, Jared Padalecki and Misha Collins have both officially announced that they're going to be in The Boys season 5, the final season, which is notable because Jensen Ackles is already on that show, meaning that it's an entire Supernatural reunion. And of course, the showrunner is also the guy who created Supernatural, so they're doing a full Supernatural reunion of sorts on the season. Which is fine. Yeah. I don't really care that much, but I have no problems with it either. I mean, Jensen Ackles has been good on the show. I don't see why these other two wouldn't be. So.
No, I mean, it's a little bit like, hey, let's just do it because why not?
Yeah.
But they're all pretty competent actors in their own right anyway, so sure.
Yeah, it's not like they're getting, like, it's not like they're, oh, hey, these are going to be the main characters now, and all the characters you care about are getting shoved to the side. I'm sure that's not the case, so who cares?
Yeah. Famously, no directors or showrunners ever cast people that they already like and worked with a lot in the past.
Yeah. Just a little bit of casting for that Cape Fear show that's happening. Patrick Wilson's been added to the cast. He's joined Amy Adams and Javier Bardem, so presumably he's going to play the husband of the couple, I would assume. So
probably it's quite a cast.
Yeah, that's quite a cast. So cool. And we have a big DC Comics section because Gunn and Peter Safran were giving updates on stuff. They gave updates on all the movies as well. I've not put that in here though, because obviously that's movie stuff. But they did talk about all the various movies and where they're all at. Basically gave updates on everything they announced when this slate officially came to be, which was the start of 2023, according to this article. So, here's the updates on the TV show things. But they do say that they're kind of aiming going forward. Now, this year's only got, I think, like one movie and like one show or whatever, and a couple animated ones. But their plan going forward is to have 2 live action movies a year and 1 animated movie a year. Which, sure.
It's a reasonable amount.
And then for TV show, they're targeting 2 live action shows a year and 2 animated shows a year for max. So, we'll see if that comes. So the updates are Peacemaker for season 2. That's premiering in August. No exact date, but that's when they're saying it's coming. Waller, the Amanda Waller spinoff. They're still going through basically development on this. It's been kind of bumpy. They kind of admit the strikes really affected it, apparently. So that one's a little bit up in the air and further away. Lanterns, they're saying that this is going to launch in early 2026. And in fact, the first image of the show popped out this week. Now, it's not interesting because it's not like them in costume or anything. It's just 2 people, basically. Yeah. But it's like, hey, that's Hal and John. We have people playing these characters. Excellent. So so that's going to be an early 2026 show. Penguin season 2, which they've announced, and they're looking forward to doing that. So there's a lot of moving pieces, including Colin Farrell's schedule, but they're excited about the next phase of that. And it was a very good show, so I mean, people I think will be on board for it when it comes. Paradise Lost, which is the live action show which they're calling a Game of Thrones style story about Themyscira, is still in the works, but no writer's been announced. So, which basically just means that they still want to do it, but it's just kind of like it's not been at the forefront of the development yet. And then Booster Gold, we love Booster Gold. There was a particular showrunner creator we were waiting on who expressed interest. We waited a really long time. Unfortunately, he fell out of love. We pivoted. It's still one that's important to us. It's moving forward with someone else. So, I wonder who it was. I wonder who they were hoping to get for that fell through.
Must have been someone notable to wait.
Must have been. I don't know. Someone who would have worked with the comedy, presumably of Booster Gold.
I'd like to
Um,
think so, yeah.
and then the Blue Beetle animated series. Yeah. Um, getting to a place where they're going to present it for a green light really soon. And it follows the events of the movie that came out. Oh, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that part. So yeah,
That
so
movie that we definitely all watched, yeah.
yes, I did not see that movie. And then perhaps more interestingly though, they also announced kind of this was a separate story, but just kind of goes with this stuff. Is they announced the new animated series that are kind of like I don't think are part of what they said earlier with their expectations of what they're putting out every year. This sounds like a sort of separate branch that's more aimed at younger audiences. The first one, and perhaps the most notable, is My Adventures with Green Lantern, which shares a title similar to My Adventures with Superman that already came out.
Which is very good, to be fair.
And it's the same showrunner, and it's going to focus on Jessica Cruz. And they did confirm a little bit after that it is set in the same universe as My Adventures with Superman. So if you like that show, then this is cool. Jessica Cruz is my favorite Green Lantern, so I think this is pretty neat actually. That this is going to get her a lot of new young fans. That'd be really cool. So yeah, so, that's nice. And then we have Superpowers, which follows the Alliance School for Heroes, where the young heroes Lightning, Flash, Plastic Man, Aquagirl, Green Lantern, and Terra train under Principal Martian Manhunter. Matt Beans is going to executive produce with Michael Chang alongside as supervising producer. So it's the premise. I wonder what Green Lantern is. And what Flash is, I guess. I mean, it could just be Wally. But it may be Bart. I don't know.
Depends how young they want to do it, don't it? And
yeah.
Depends on the timeline they're playing with.
Yeah. And to be fair, it doesn't really matter, does it? They can literally skew different characters from different parts of the timeline as much as they want, really. And then the third one is Starfire, which will
be the best one.
Sorry?
Which will be the best one, obviously.
Possibly. It'll be an origin tale for the beloved Teen Titans mainstay Josie Campbell and Brianne Druhard will executive produce. So Josie Campbell did some writing on My Adventures with Superman, so even that's a connection to that a little bit in terms of talent. So that's interesting. So that's cool. Your kind of your DC update since they said all this stuff. I mean, really, the 3 animated shows they announced were kind of the big thing, really, and then maybe just the Peacemaker's coming in August and Lanterns is coming early 2026. That was the main headlines out of that stuff. But cool. All right. I'm sorry. Are you watching something more interesting, Connor?
No.
Oh, you're looking over there like there's something going on.
No. Just waiting for the next story.
Suspicious.
It's just where my camera's pushing. It just makes me lean that way.
All right. Sharon Hogan's follow-up to Bad Sisters is going to be for HBO. Made a 2-year deal with Warner Brothers Discovery Network, and that's led to this. And as part of this 2-year deal, HBO was given a straight-to-series order to a new comedy written, executive produced, and starring Sharon Horgan. It's untitled right now, but it follows a 50-year-old D-Force says search for sex and love while struggling caring for her ailing parents and parenting her soon-to-be grown-up, or should-be grown-up son. So she's got an adult son, and she's got elderly parents that she's dealing with.
They said parenting and parents a lot. It felt like a lot in the space of like 4 words.
I mean, it was just twice, but
yeah. They're very close together.
They were very close together, yes. Yes, that's true. Yes, I have nothing to add. Max are doing a Crazy Rich Asians TV show, and basically they've officially launched like a development writers room this week. They didn't really give like much of a synopsis for it specifically. They did say that apparently they're contacting cast from the movie about showing up for it, and this will not affect the fact that there's a sequel movie being developed. So I don't know how they're both going to coexist. But
they're contacting them, so I'm sure we'll be fine.
Oh yeah, sure. So needless to say, I doubt we have much to say on.
I've still not actually watched the movie.
I have no intentions of watching the movie.
I'll probably watch it at some point, but
The next for me. Apple TV's picked up Maximum Pleasure Guaranteed, a 10-episode series starring Tatiana Maslany from Orphan Black, and She-Hulk, and most recently, The Monkey, if you've seen that movie. It is a half-hour darkly comedic thriller written and executive produced by creator and showrunner David J. Rosen, about a newly divorced mum, another divorced mum, who falls down a dangerous rabbit hole of blackmail, murder, and youth soccer.
the last one fell out of place.
I assume she coaches a youth soccer team or something for her kid. That'd be my guess.
Probably. It just didn't feel like it belonged with the others.
David Gordon Green is going to direct. Maybe just the pilot, maybe all of it. Unclear, but directing some of it. Netflix has acquired the widely popular Audible Originals podcast, Impact Winter, to be developed for a TV show, with Hunger Games Helmer Francis Lawrence directing. The series is created by Travis Beacham, whose script work includes Carnival Row, Pacific Rim, and Clash of the Titans. So the series... Oh, yeah. The ambition of the series is 30 Days of Night meets The Last of Us. A comet hits Earth and results in are apocalyptic. As a result, the sun is blocked out and the humans become pitted against vampires. The way in is two sisters who find themselves on opposite sides of the war. Okay. So one sister's turned into a vampire, so there's like a weird, like,
yeah.
I don't want to kill you, but I will if I have to, sister.
You said this was Apple?
This is Netflix.
Oh, this is Netflix. Okay.
Yeah.
Less interested.
Yeah, I'm not particularly excited just because it's Netflix. Apparently, the podcast has had 3 seasons, and the 4th season's upcoming, and it's got 6 million subscribers. So it's.
I feel like I'd rather just listen to it, to be honest. I quite enjoy listening to a good audio drama.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad. It feels like they're just picking properties out of a hat to compare it to. And obviously, I love Last of Us, but I saw 30 Days of Night for the first time last year, and maybe the comic's good, but that movie sucked. So I can't say that is inspiring much in me. Next up, Akiva Goldsman, which this article says is an Oscar-winning writer, but I like to think of him as the writer of Batman and Robin, personally.
What did he win an Oscar for?
I want to say it's that Russell Crowe movie where he's good at the math.
Beautiful Mind.
That one. I think that was him.
Is that him?
I could be wrong. You can fact check that.
I could.
That's what my head went to, though. What did Akiva Goldsman win an Oscar for? Let Google AI tell you.
I have Google AI turned off, thank God.
You turn it off?
I don't want Google AI. I don't want AI. I don't need it. Just give me the answer.
I didn't realize you could turn it off.
Yeah, there was like an opt-out thing ages ago. I just ticked it.
Oh,
and
bloody hell.
I don't know how to find it again. Yeah, it was A Beautiful Mind.
Was it? Oh, I'm right. Excellent.
Wikipedia knew the answer. I don't trust Google's AI to tell me that.
Oh yeah, sometimes Google's AI tells you lots of nonsense. Anyway, so he's developing a new universe at Legendary Television, and it's going to involve reimagining 3 Irwin Allen sci-fi series. So whether that means 3 different TV shows, or it means like one kind of anthology show, or even like one show that kind of mixes them all up, it's a little unclear. But the 3 stories that are being kind of used for this are Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, Land of the Giants, and The Time Tunnel. So I don't know. Akiva Goldsman's name is kind of like poison, to be honest. Though like if you told me this idea without his name, I'd be like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I could see like fun updates on those old school stories.
Yeah, I'd probably still be very skeptical because it feels like IP scraping.
Oh, sure, but everything is these days.
Yeah, but in particular, there's like, hey, what's our copyright? What can we just use for free? That's what this feels like. Desperation.
Are they out of copyright? Are they that old?
I assume so.
I mean, the movies or TV things are from the 60s. So,
I assume the book.
yeah, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea.
It's gotta be, surely.
Yeah, is premiered in 1964 on ABC based on the 1961 film, co-written by R. Allen and Charles Bennett. It ran for 4 seasons, starring Richard Basehart as Admiral Harry Nelson, the leading role. The series was an underwater adventure that followed the nuclear submarine Seaview, led by Nelson and Crane. The Time Tunnel is a time travel adventure series starring James Darren and Robert Colbert. I didn't realize these all had TV shows. That's actually news to me. It ran for one 30-episode season. 30-episode season. TV was such a different beast back in the day. The series followed 2 scientists, Dr. Douglas Phillips and Dr. Anthony Newman, who accidentally jumped through time as those left behind attempt to bring them back to the present. An attempt at a reboot series by Fox in 2002 didn't go beyond the pilot stage. And then Land of the Giants, created by Allen and his 4th series, premiered in ABC in the fall of 1968 and ran for 2 seasons. The series follows a suborbital space vehicle, the Spindrift, whose crew was shrunk after getting caught up in a sandstorm. So, yeah, it's all a bunch of kind of pulpy sci-fi stuff. I've seen Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, the movie. I've not seen the show in any capacity, but the movie was first, so.
Maybe it's not our copyright then. I guess I'm surprised by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Amazon's MGM Studios is developing a science fiction TV series. Consider Phlebas, if I'm saying that right. Phlebas.
Phlebas? Yeah, I know it is.
Yeah, it's Ian Banks, which is the
Culture series.
Yeah, the first in a 10-book Culture series is being adapted into a TV show. Interior Chinatown creator Charles Yu is writing and executive producing the potential series, and it's executive produced by Chloe Zhao, who did Nomadland. I mean, she's producing though, so I don't think she's too busy with Buffy to be doing as much on this. And consider Phlebas, while war rages between the utopian culture and the Adiran Empire, a culture ship AI Mind takes refuge on a forbidden planet. Both Horza, a shape-shifting mercenary working for the Adirans, and Balvida, a special circumstances culture agent. There's a lot of terms here been thrown around that the names that are all sounding a bit like gobbledygook as I say them, have been tasked with retrieving it to tip the balance in a galaxy-spanning conflict. Consider Phlebas pits sentience against AI in an epic bloody quest across the cosmos. Now, I think I like that premise that I'm sort of like trying to see there between this description, but it didn't need to give me all these names and like as if they would make any sense to me.
No, and this is very typical, like classic sci-fi stuff.
Sure, yeah, sounds it.
It's pretty well regarded. It's one of those like big properties in like earlier sci-fi literature. That I'm surprised it's not really been tackled much before with how big it is in the scene. But
I mean, if it's a hit, they've got 9 more seasons ready to go. Basically, with the books,
a lot of moving parts, right?
Yeah, so that'll be the appeal of this for Amazon is like, hey, if this is a hit, there's like 9 mapped out stories all ready to do, presumably. So, hey, and I mean, it doesn't say here. I assume like the 10th one ended it. It's got a conclusion, I imagine.
I do assume so. Yeah.
If it even needs one, maybe it's not the sort of thing that had like maybe each one sort of like was fairly standalone. Yeah, and didn't need that.
Oh, it's something that's like always like vaguely been on my radar as something that like gets recommended. I've like I don't know, I could have told you the name of any of the individual books, but like the Culture series is always just like thrown as recommendations. So it's pretty well regarded still, though. So I assume it has at least some sort of satisfying end, or at the very least, they are all standalone enough that it doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right. that is that. So that could be a biggie if they put a lot of effort into it. You assume it would end up on Prime, but I mean, you never know. Sometimes these things end up drifting from where the parent company is. Next up, Emily in Paris creator Darren Star and New Amsterdam creator David Schulner have teamed up for a new show called Uncorked, a half-hour single-camera dramedy that has landed on Netflix with script-to-series commitment. The premise has been kept under wraps, but deadline here is that it's set in Napa Valley, and like many of Star's series, has a female lead. So not a lot to go on with that one, but
like many of their series, it's
yes.
fine.
So next up, there's a TV spin-off being made at Netflix for Extraction. If you remember the Chris Hemsworth movie that came out with that name.
I do. I've seen it. It's very forgettable, but fine while you're watching it.
I did not see such a thing. But Glenn Mazzara, who did the Walking Dead show, well, I didn't start it because that was Frank Darabont, but you know what I mean.
Did season like 3 onwards? Or?
Something like that. He's executive producer and showrunner. It's an 8-episode series and being produced by the Russos. And Omar Sy is going to star in it. Set in the high-octane world of Extraction, the yet untitled action thriller series follows a mercenary as he navigates a dangerous mission to rescue hostages in Libya. Trapped between warring factions and ruthless killers, the series delves into the emotional struggles of conflicted and flawed characters, each facing trauma, betrayal, life or death choices, and their personal and professional lives. I did that last part myself.
It was generic enough that you couldn't tell.
I couldn't resist just adding that on because it was so easy.
Yeah.
Are you excited about the Extraction universe expanding?
Can't wait. Can't wait to spend 6 hours watching Extraction, which was already like a 2-hour-long movie, which probably should have been 90 minutes.
All right, the enthusiasm's off the charts. Next up, Oscar Emmy winner. Hey, it's better. It could have been worse. I could have said enema, right? Which
yeah,
Oscar and enema winner Olivia Colman is set to star and executive produced in a drama created, executive produced, and showrun by the Affair co-creator Sarah Treem, which is in development at FX and is inspired by a Danish show, Ulven Kommer, which translates as Cry Wolf, although they did just say it's untitled, so they're probably not going with that. Or if they do end up going with that, then why not just admit that it's Cry Wolf from the start? Anyway, it's described as a sweeping family drama that is both a mystery and a thriller.
Those two do often go hand in hand, yeah.
Well, yeah, but just say it's a mystery and a thriller then. Why did you have to add in family? I don't know. Anyway. Further details are being kept under wraps, but that's it. Well, hold on. The original show's got a description. We could look at that here. The 2020 Danish series Cry Wolf follows a social worker who tries to find out who is telling the truth in a family with a teen daughter which may be plagued by domestic violence. Oh, it's a cheery show.
Ah, yeah. Well, it's Danish.
Yeah. To be fair, the title would suggest that perhaps there is some lying going on.
Yeah.
Or maybe it suggests that there was lying once upon a time, which is making the current thing hard to believe, but the current thing is true.
That's very plausible, yeah.
Hence the Cry Wolf story, all that. So, yeah. I mean, Olivia Colman's good. I mean, that's all I'll say. That's all I've really got to say on that. There's going to be a sequel series or a spin-off series to Avatar: The Last Airbender. Nickelodeon has ordered Avatar 7 Havens, a 26-episode 2D animated series from original series creators Michael DiMartino and Brian Konietzko. There you go. I had to think about that. Avatar 7 Havens is set in a world shattered by a devastating cataclysm. A young earthbender discovers she's the new Avatar after Korra. I guess it's the third show, because Korra happened.
It did, yeah.
But in this dangerous era, the title marks her as humanity's destroyer, not its savior. Hunted by both human and spirit enemies, she and her long-lost twin must uncover their mysterious origins and save the 7 Havens before civilization's last stronghold collapsed. So,
this is a little bit interesting for me. You know, Avatar and Korra are both excellent shows. So, and you get the original creators in. I'm like, okay, I've got no reason to doubt it at this point. I think it's particularly funny that this comes after they were all working on the Netflix version, and then they left due to creative differences. Basically, I think Netflix wouldn't let them do what they wanted to do with it. And, well, I say that. For all I know, it could have been Netflix doing their thing of you need to make it so we can watch it in the background. But whatever it was, they all left, and now they're just making a sequel show instead. Like, I think that's a little bit funny.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have no interest really, just because I never watched either of those previous shows. But it does have a big fan base, so I suspect that people are probably quite happy as there's another. Was the original show just a one season thing, or did that have multiple seasons?
The original show was 3. I think they were both 3 seasons.
Oh, really? So that's my. Because this one sounds like it's a one season thing, but maybe it will have more seasons.
Yeah, I think they were both 3. That or one of them was 4 potentially.
Okay. All right. 20th Century Television has optioned Tinksy's 2024 novel Hotter in the Hamptons for the Nobody Wants This duo, creator executive producer of Erin Foster and executive producer Sarah Foster. So the Fosters.
Yeah, nobody wants this either.
What?
But yeah, nobody wants this either.
Oh, very good. I see what you did there. Hotter in the Hamptons, the debut novel by the content creator. That's weird. Don't call them a content creator when they've written something. That's just a little gross. And host of It's Me, Tinks, on Sirius XM, delves into the worlds of high fashion and online fame. It follows fallen influencer Lola's... Wait, what? It follows fallen influencers Lola's, I guess, chaotic whirlwind, summer in the Hamptons as she clashes and finds unexpected connection with culture critic Ali Ray Carter, who took her down. I hate everything about this. I
do as well. I will say calling it a content creator made slightly more sense.
That's
when
true.
They said it was for Sirius FM. Oh my god, I can't say it. Sirius FM or XM, whatever it was.
XM is the one.
Yeah, XM. But I'm sure that's a radio thing.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's like an online radio thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a world now where influencers are a thing. Movies and shows are going to be made about them. Same with podcasters. Even though every time there's a podcaster in a movie, I feel myself feeling like, why is there a podcaster in this? Don't do this.
Was it the Halloween movie that had the podcasters that was terrible?
Yes, that was a notable example.
Yeah, I hate that.
There's a character in the new Ghostbusters movies who's literally goes by the nickname Podcast because he has a podcast.
Oh, that's horrific.
And it's a one-man show. He just talks by himself.
Look, I listen to a lot of podcasts that are one-man shows, but...
Yeah, but are they children?
No. No. They tend to be grown adults and doing, quite serious things, to be honest.
Yes. Investigative things, perhaps.
They're usually history things, to be honest. So they're usually... one's a lawyer turned historian, one's a very traditional historian, things like that. But again, the point is, pretty serious people,
Yes. Next up, Peacock has gotten the rights to Climbing in Heels, Emily in Paris creator Darren Star and Elaine Goldsmith Thomas drama series adaptation of her upcoming novel of the same name, with a script to series commitment. So this is Peacock once again who have given it this. A story of friendship, betrayal, survival, and ambition. Climbing in Heels follows the rise of 5 ambitious secretaries navigating the glitzy world of 1980s Hollywood, while offering a glimpse into the Boys Will Be Boys Club and the women who wanted a seat at the table where they were expected to serve. It's also a cautionary tale about how some of these women became very much like the monsters they work for. So... it's Peacock, so I'm not expecting gold here. But I can see what the good story here is if it was.
I agree. There's a premise there that I can see. Probably not a TV show, but I can see a really good movie.
Yeah,
I
like
can see quite a grimy movie.
like not that I'd expect it to have this tone, but I could see a lot of Breaking Bad in this, in the sense that it's like people becoming monsters that they like, and becoming part of the system that the you know well, obviously with a much more focused spin on the feminist side of it, but still I could see that kind of being the thing. Next up, we have a show called The Applebaum Curse, which is Claire Danes reteaming with Winnie Holzman, who worked on My So-Called Life together way back in the early 90s, which I never saw, but I've seen people rave about it and have a lot of nostalgia for it. But The Applebaum Curse, which is in the early development at HBO, that's the where this is. It's described as an ongoing one-hour drama series about a dysfunctional family with Danes in the lead role, and that is all we have. So, not like
Right, okay.
We have a title.
It's hard to make an opinion then.
I think for people who like My So-Called Life, this is probably bigger news because it's that showrunner or writer.
Yeah, I have no opinion on that though either.
Danes,
do you?
Yeah. No, I've never seen it.
No.
Can't comment. Claire Danes is just that woman who's in the bad Terminator sequel.
Extremely harsh. I mean, it's true, but it is harsh.
Yeah. Well, she was also in that. Is it Homeland? Is the one she was in on Showtime?
Oh, maybe.
Which I never
She's
watched.
Been a lot though, isn't she? Like,
I don't think I've seen her in anything else. I've seen her in Terminator 3.
She must have been in something good. I must have seen her in something.
Her career's a phantom. She was in a Terminator movie that aged really poorly. And that's it.
Yeah. No, she's been in stuff.
I feel like Nick Stahl, who was also in Terminator 3, just kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. And I feel like she hasn't, but from my perspective, she basically has.
Oh, I know why I liked her, although it's a little bit like you will have not. The Romeo and Juliet, the Baz Luhrmann one.
That was before Terminator 3.
Yeah, but she was good.
Yeah, but that was before, the point is that I've just seen her. Okay, fine. I have seen that, to be fair.
Yeah, but do you like that? I can't imagine you liking that.
Oh
movie.
no, I hated it with every fiber of my being.
Yeah.
It was a hate crime, frankly.
It's a fantastic movie. I legitimately believe that as well. I watched it again last year. I think it really holds up.
John Luigi Asmo is like overdoing it and stuff. It's
Everyone's overdoing it.
I don't know.
It's
like
great.
It.
I love it.
No, I can't get on board with it. Next up, 911 is a show.
At that time of the year.
And it had 911 Lone Star as a spin-off, but that finished after 5 seasons.
So the 5 seasons?
The spin-off, yeah, Lone Star.
Yeah, what the hell?
So they've given a series order to a new spin-off, which is 911 Nashville. So
that'll hit.
So yes. It's so weird. Back in the day, when a TV show had a spin-off and like the spin-off or the original show died, it pretty much meant that they were all like on one, like borrowed time, and they'd all be dead soon. But now, between 911 and then what we were talking about earlier with NCIS, apparently you just rotate the spin-offs. When once a spin-off is like had 6 or 7 seasons, you're like, well, that's that done. Let's start a new spin-off. Like, that seems to be what they do now with these shows.
Yeah, because basically the original show's still going strong enough. Even like after, 6 seasons of a spin-off of whatever NCIS got to. Like, NCIS itself, the core show, was still going strong. So, well, why would we cancel that? That's still making money. But then, so they cancel the spin-off, and then like 2 years later, we're like, I think we can get another spin-off out of this. I think people want more.
Do you know what's so weird, though? I feel like these spin-offs, though, to these procedural like cop shows,
they're all the same.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically just another show. They're just using the name again. Because it's I mean, I'm sure once in a blue moon they'll do like a special crossover like event where they have like characters mingle between the two. But it's not like this isn't like a Buffy Angel thing where a main character leaves and goes and like is the central character in the second show. This is just here's another group of random detectives in a different city.
I think it is on some of these shows. I think occasionally there is a character leaves and becomes like headlines the other one.
Well, I've actually got an example of that next, but I've got a funny feeling that this 911 Nashville isn't one of them.
Yeah, probably not.
So yeah, there's no premise listed, but I mean, do you care?
No, it's 911, but in Nashville.
Yeah, so that's fine. Which brings us on to our final story of the week. We actually got through that. Yeah. I had 17 pages in yours and we got through it.
Shockingly quick. Generic, just bland, boring nothingness.
Yeah, they weren't very interesting. There wasn't a lot of like laugh about or make fun of. There was a boring batch of news items this week. Oh well. Yeah. Still though, CBS has ordered a spin-off of Blue Bloods. Remember Blue Bloods?
I do remember Blue Bloods, unfortunately.
Yeah, which lasted something like, I don't know, 12 seasons or something stupid like that.
It went for a while, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Donnie Wahlberg apparently still wants a paycheck because he's getting a spin-off where they're doing the Frasier thing, where obviously the whole premise of Blue Bloods is that him and all of his family are cops, or one was like a lawyer, but they were all in the system, and they'd meet for dinner every week, and that was the whole premise of the show. So they're sending him to a different city, and that's the show. He's in a different city. So it's called Boston Blue, although they do specify that's a working title, so they might change it, but I mean, honestly, it sounds better than a lot of the titles of these shows, so...
It's got more going for it. Like, I'm not saying it's the best title ever, but it's not embarrassing.
No. It's got the alliteration, it's got the blue that ties it to the original show. It's got enough.
You know they're going to call it, like, Blue Bloods Boston by the end.
No, it's just so much worse.
It's so much worse. You know that someone in a boardroom is going to go, well, we've done the market research, and the consumer thinks that this is not connected unless we put the hyphen.
Yeah. So on the new series from writers Brandon Sonier and Brandon Margolis. That's interesting. They both have the first name Brandon. Because that's a coincidence. It's not like a family connection. It's just they're both named Brandon.
Maybe they met on like a chat for Brandons.
Wahlberg will reprise his role as NYPD detective Danny Reagan as he takes a position with Boston PD. Once in Boston, he is paired with Detective Lena Peters, the eldest daughter of a prominent law enforcement family.
There we go.
So his partner has a cop family, so we still get to have the family thing. What's the betting? Episode 1, I can already tell you, late in the episode, she's going to go, hey, do you want to come to my family for dinner since you don't know anyone in the city? And he's going to say yes. And lo and behold, he's back at a dinner table every week with a cop family.
Oh, 100%.
It's just the same show again. But
it's in Boston.
It's in Boston. There's going to be a lot of Boston accents.
It's so much worse.
Wait, aren't the Wahlbergs? I feel like aren't they Boston people?
I don't know enough to care.
I feel like I've heard Mark Wahlberg do a thick Boston accent a lot.
I feel like that's one of those accents that's exaggerated enough that a lot of people can do.
Yeah, but I think he's got a Boston, which makes me wonder because if he's got a Boston accent naturally, presumably so does Donnie, and that means that he's been subduing it when he was meant to be a New York cop, and maybe it'll just start coming out because he's in Boston again. It's like, but wait a minute, you might have moved here from New York.
Well, I'm sure if he can keep it in check for all these years, he's a professional and he can do it still.
Is Donnie Wahlberg a professional?
I don't know, but I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that if you couldn't tell his accent before, that he could probably manage it. I mean, he's getting paid more than you do to do this TV show. I guess that makes him a professional.
Why am I being compared to what he's getting paid?
Just, you're the one taking shots at him, calling him not a professional.
In the context compared to other actors.
I'm not saying he's good, I'm saying he's a professional. There's a difference.
Yeah, but you have to compare it to other actors to say is he professional. You can't just compare him to, like, in this case, a podcaster, but what about, I don't know, oh, compared to this janitor, is he a professional? Well, I don't know. It's about work ethic.
Well, maybe he has it. You don't know.
He may have work ethic, but like his acting quality would not suggest.
Well, maybe this is why he keeps getting hired. It's the work ethic. It's not that natural talent. It's going to just put in the hard graft.
He shows up on time, so they keep him hired.
Yeah. Hey, people pay good money for staff that show up on time.
That's my favorite tidbit from a really bad movie. We did an extra reels on Patreon, for the record, called The Last Vampire on Earth. In the extras, which I saw this on Red Letter Media, like the director was talking about his cast, and it's this really shitty, like no budget Twilight ripoff. And when asked to like say what he liked about his leading man, his Edward knockoff actor,
he showed up on time.
He showed up on time was his answer.
Oh.
He was always very punctual.
He shows up on time.
Oh dear. All right, there you go. That's the news. Look, we had to milk one of these stories for some hilarity. The rest of them were
so bland.
Nothing. Yeah.
Half of them didn't even have descriptions.
I know. It was just,
let alone like AI generated ones.
It was just an unfortunate couple of weeks of news stories. There wasn't any juicy stuff in there. Hopefully next time will be more fruitful. But yes, let us know what you thought of the news items this week on the show. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with the next news. Severance is ongoing. It was a big episode this week. My review's already out, so go check that out if you're enjoying that show. Yeah, I don't really have much else to add for TV review wise. It's just same old stuff coming out. Patreon sponsored reviews mixed in with some X-Files and Personal Interest. That's about it. Over Melfuzz Movies, there's Screams After Midnight's back for a bit. It may have a gap again after a bunch of episodes, but me and Tim banked a whole month's worth in a very short span of time because he had a chance to record and we didn't want to waste it. So 2 episodes have came out of that in the last couple of weeks. The Substance and the Monkey being the movies. So check out that. Check out Patreon if you want to help support the show and keep all the content coming. But that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We do appreciate it. Keep watching TV. Have you got any vanilla?